I made 2 of the cutest Christmas tags using Pink and Main's Deer and Elf Peeker, along with products from scrapbook.com. Hey everyone, it's Joy here. Okay, so welcome to my channel. Here are 2 die cuts from Fern Cardstock from Spellbinders. These are the Nested Trees dies from scrapbook.com, and I am using Rustic Wilderness. These are going to be the front of our tags. I did die cut 4 of these in total. I did not ink blend the back, although you could if you wanted to. But I did not do that. But I do want to give these a little bit of color because I am going to be ink blending these darling little peekers from Pink and Main, the Deer and Elf Peeker. Oh my gosh, you guys, they're so cute. And so I am definitely going to put these on my grandbaby's Christmas presents this year for sure. I am using a little bit of I think this is walnut stain. No, this is ground espresso for the trunk of the tree, just to give it a little bit of brown. So now that we have those done, I have done all my die cutting ahead because this video is still going to be a little bit long anyways, but I like to do my die cuts ahead for you guys when I'm able to. So we have our cute little elf and our cute little Rudolph, little reindeer, because he's got a big nose. Although you don't have to make him Rudolph. I did. So I'm going to do a little bit of the gathered twigs on the red part of the hat because I don't have a red ink dark enough for this pomegranate cardstock from Spellbinders. Then I'm using alabaster for the face and hands of our little elf. I think all of the, except for the white, all of the cardstock is from Spellbinders, and I do have everything listed and linked for you guys below in the description. Using a little bit of antique linen to give just a little bit of shading around the head and the ears on the face. I am going to do a little bit of spun sugar for the cheeks on the face. We have the hair here. I think this is acorn cardstock and a little bit of ground espresso. And I am working on a silicone mat because it really is nice and easy to clean up. It is kind of stained, so I really need to give it a good cleaning to get most of that staining should come off. But no big deal. It's just because it's used a lot, right? Then I'm using my sponge daubers. And so for the nose of the elf, I added a little bit of pink at the top, and then I'm doing a little bit of pink on the cheeks. And then there is green for his hat and his neck. I die cut that from Rainforest cardstock. And we're going to use a little bit of Mowed lawn to give that a little bit of shading as well. You don't have to do this. I just love it when I can do it. And these images are big enough that I can add a little bit of ink blending, but it is not necessary. They still are all super darling. Oh my gosh, I cannot get over these. I'm going to definitely make some more with another thing that they can peek out of. So stay tuned for that. I am definitely going to do that because these are way too cute. Then we have our reindeer. We have his hooves, his antlers. So he is die cut from acorn. Then his antlers are die cut from Fawn, and his feet are die cut from truffle cardstock. Then pomegranate for the nose, and then black is from mixed media cardstock from scrapbook.com along with their white mixed media cardstock. So a little bit more ink blending. I think I used the walnut stain there. For his feet, I'm going to use ground espresso just on the top, again, just to give a little shadow. Although I did both of them, I wasn't quite sure for the design, but I actually only end up using one hoof and one hand because of the way of the layout, but no big deal. And then walnut stain a little bit for his little cute antlers. Oh my gosh, these guys are so cute, you guys. I cannot get over how cute they are. I mean, Pink and Main makes really cute critters, whether they're in stamps or dies, really cute. And I'm not really an elf person, but this elf is really cute. I'm going to give this one to my granddaughter because she's older, and my son and daughter-in-law have done the elf on the shelf with her. So I'll put this on her present. And then my grandson, he's just a little itty bitty guy. He's like a year and a half. right now, I'll do the reindeer for him. So let's get our pieces glued together. We have his little inserts for his ears, his cute antlers, his eyes. I'm not going to glue on his nose or his hoof yet, just like I didn't glue on the hand for the elf yet. We're going to do that once we get them adhered to the Christmas tree. Now, I've also done some die cutting using Lawn Fawn's, oh my gosh, what are they called? Sorry. Mini string of lights dies. I love Christmas lights on cards. I mean, I love Christmas lights. My Christmas tree always has tons of lights. My husband is really sweet and he loves them too, but he wraps them around the trunk of the tree. Like we'll do white and then we'll do white around on the branches, and then we'll also bring in color. And then we get the thing that makes them, you know, like the little machine that makes them dance and turn off and on at different times. So our tree always has a lot of lights. So I love Christmas lights. That's my whole point to the long story, is I love Christmas lights. Okay, look at how cute this elf is. He is just coming together. Now they both have a little mouth that has a little, from the die cut, a little indent for the mouth. And I'm going to use a black luster marker to do that, but I don't do that for a while. Okay, so in that mini string of lights dies from Lawn Fawn, there's these straight lights and then there's curly lights, and I'm going to use both. And I'll show you how we use the second lights. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I just can't even get over how cute these are. Sometimes when I make really cute cards, I'm like, I actually made that. That's how I feel about it. They're so cute. So I'm going to put these at an angle. Now, I do think these trees could use a star, but I did not have a small enough star for this size tree. I have the nested stars from scrapbook.com, but the smallest one was just the tiniest bit too big that it didn't look good. So, and I just don't have any other star dies in my stash that I'm aware of. I couldn't find any. So I would say definitely put a star on this. I think it's cute without two, but I think it really would be great if there was a star. And I am not good at trying to like cut one myself because I'm just kind of crooked and lopsided that way, and it's just not going to happen. So we went without a star. So for this die cut, you have your string, then you have a white piece that's the shape of your light, and then you have the other dies that you would die cut from color cardstock. Now, you don't have to do it this way. I'm doing the white underneath because on the ones that you would use to die cut your colored cardstock, it has a little spot that you can pop out that gives you a highlight on your lights. You don't have to do it that way. You could just die cut the colors from this and add a white gel pen highlight to it. I did not do it that way. I did it where you die cut multiple things, but you can do it both ways. And that works just fine. But this goes pretty quick. I think the longest thing is flipping these die cut pieces over, honestly. I'm just using my Pick Pro tool. It has that wax end to grab all of my little pieces. And the other end, I mean, there's multiple ends for this, but I have my little pokey tool on the end, but that helps to kind of slide things over. So as you can see, I was popping out those little pieces, and now I'm just going to adhere for both of the trees, all of our little lights, and then I can just flip my tool around so I can use the pointy end to kind of slide things over and put it in place. But look at how cute these are. So for the lights, the paper that I used were pomegranate for the red, I used rainforest for the green, beeswax for the yellow, and teal topaz for the blue. I love using a teal color for my lights. I think I did a card recently that I did blue. For Lawn Fawn, actually, I did that for their inspiration week because that's going on this week. And I love blue, a darker blue that way too, but I tend to lean more towards the teal. But I try to make myself step out of my comfort zone. Sometimes you just have to. Leave a comment for me below. Like, do you like a ton of lights on your Christmas tree? Do you go white lights, colored lights? Like, what is your happy place with that? Okay, so we're going to finish getting these guys on here, and then we can start putting our little critters peeking out from behind the Christmas trees because they're called Deer and Elf Peeker, which is so cute. I think I was trying to figure out what my order was. I was getting confused for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But how cute are those? Okay, so I have my reindeer on here. And I'm just taking a peek, like I want his nose to kind of hang over the Christmas tree just a little bit. And one of his little hooves is going to hang over as well. So it looks like he's kind of grabbing onto the Christmas tree. So I think that's really cute. I like how that looks. And so now I'm going to adhere him. So I'm going to put him in place. I'm going to add a little dot of glue, use my reverse tweezers. I have to say, I cannot find my favorite pair of reverse tweezers, which are from Spellbinders. I don't lose things. I don't lose things at all. I've never in my life been someone who's ever lost anything. In the last quite a few months, I've lost a couple things in my craft room. I know it's my grief brain doing it, but it's kind of obnoxious because I cannot find them anywhere. So hopefully when I go to clean up my craft room, I can find those. Sorry, that's out of camera. I was just adding a little bit of liquid glue between the reindeer and the tree. I'm using 1mm foam adhesive for his nose, so it has a little bit of dimension, and it's going to just overlap part of that tree a little bit, which gives the effect that he's kind of peeking around. And then we have his hoof that I'm just going to use some liquid glue, and it is going to overlap the tree as well. And oh my gosh, is he darling or what? Oh, I love him. He's so cute. He is my favorite. This reindeer is my favorite. But I do love this little elf. He is just as darling. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to find the spot I need him at. And I'm going to tuck him behind the tree. I'm going to hold him in place with my tweezers. And then I can start adding the little bit of glue. I'm doing it this way, which kind of seems a little more difficult, but it felt easier for me to know exactly where I needed to put liquid glue instead of putting it everywhere and it not being in the spots that I wanted it to, or being in a, you know, just having too much glue in places I did not want. So let's glue his hand on there so it looks like he's grabbing the tree. He's cute. Okay, here's my favorite part. These are the little swirly lights of the Lawn Fawn mini string of lights. And I die cut it from a thinner cardstock, not the mixed media black cardstock from scrapbook.com, because I want to be able to bend this a little bit. So I'm just kind of getting it in place. Then I can start adding glue in little areas. So I have this tucked around his ears and through his antlers and around the other side, like he's tangled in it. Like maybe they're the ones starting to decorate the Christmas tree, whatever. But I think this is so cute. And I was saying out loud to myself, oh my gosh, I love how this turned out. So I'm definitely going to have to do this again. So now that I have one spot in place, I'm just going to find all the little spots that are stuck to the reindeer, the back and the front, and add dots of glue. This is something obviously you need to be a little more careful with. You know, you've got this thinner cardstock hanging off, but I think it's totally worth it. You just needs to be good till you give the present, right? If it gets destroyed after that, it is what it is, whatever. But you can see I've got all these little points that I can add liquid glue. And then I'm just using my tweezers to hold that in place. And we're going to do the same thing for the elf. He has a little less things to tuck in, so it took a second, but I was able to kind of get it tucked in front of his ear, behind his ear, and then I could put some spots that to hold down with glue once I was kind of bending it around. So I start by gluing on the back, kind of my anchor point. And then I can get some of these little spots glued down. And I want to make sure that the glue is held before I start bending it so it doesn't pull it up. Let me add another little spot there. Okay, so now I can hold that in place. And then this is where I'm just going to tuck this around and kind of behind his ear. But I don't want to cover up all of his ears because they're so cute. His little elf ears are really cute. And I love that they just kind of hang off. It just looks so fun to me. It's very playful. It's almost like something's in motion on these tags. I keep saying card probably. I mean tags. But you guys know what I mean. You could turn this into a card. I think this would have to fit on a 5x7 for sure. Or you could do an A2 size and put it in a larger envelope. I mean, that would work as well because the tree would definitely fit an A2 size. So you could do a matching tag or card, and that would be a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to do the lights exactly the same, getting the white on there and then getting our colored pieces. So something that I love to do on my Christmas lights is add is to make them shine. You could do it with a shimmer pen, with glitter, with whatever. I chose to use glossy accents because I love how shiny it is. We're also going to do it on the reindeer's nose. So when I do I'm going to do some highlights first with my white gel pen. Oh wait, I'm jumping ahead. Hold on. Here's the back piece of our tag. We're going to get to the other stuff. I'm very excited about it, so I'm skipping this part. And I am using scrapbook.com's Wonder and Delight stamp set. This says Merry and Bright, which I think was perfect. I could not find, I know I have a stamp set that has to and from. I know I do. And I just could not find it. And I couldn't look forever. I just didn't have time. But you definitely would put a to or from on the back of this. But I'm just putting Merry and Bright. You can write to whomever it is and however that works. Then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, tape runner, and then liquid glue along with my little twine here. So that way we can hang this from whatever. You could also put this on your tree after you have it as a gift. You go hang it on your cute little tree or something. I think that would be fun. But this is so perfect for little kids. Although I think I would like the reindeer one on one of my presents too because it's so darling. Now I'm going to sandwich those together. And I did a good amount of liquid glue at the top where the twine is because I really obviously want that to hold. But the good thing is this cardstock is not heavy. So I like to use both tape runner and liquid glue because the tape runner is going to hold it in place while the liquid glue is drying. It's also going to hold the twine in place so it doesn't move around on you because that could be a little bit of a headache. So I'm going to press that down in there. So it's really stuck to the tape runner and then it also has liquid glue. And I'm going to add a little more up there. Okay, let's add that to the front. And now we have a finished piece as far as the front and the back goes. Now, and I'm going to, do your glossy accents or anything like that at the very end and let it sit, let it dry for hours and hours. Mine dried overnight and which was good because I did want to add a white highlight to the reindeer's nose. So I am going to do some white gel pen right now. But I'm not going to add it to his nose because once you put glossy accents on, you won't see it. It kind of you just won't notice it. Here is that black luster marker and it has it's like a brush tip, but the very, very tip of it is very fine. So it was perfect to fit inside. And now they've got this cute little smirk. Isn't that darling? So let me finish with the highlights on the reindeer and the elf. I do come back the next day and add some to the Christmas tree as well. But I did, like I said, I had to let this dry overnight. And so I just let it lay flat on my desk once I put all of the glossy accents on. But adding these white gel pen highlights just adds a little extra something as far as detail goes. You don't have to do it. Still super cute even if you don't, but I do like that little extra detail on cute little playful critters like this. Okay, let's grab that glossy accents. It's going to be on all of the Christmas lights. And if you're using all of the die cuts for the lights, make sure you get enough glossy accents in that little indent. That way it's nice and smooth over the top. So let's get that on there. And then like I mentioned, I'm also going to do it on his nose. So his nose end is nice and shiny. So cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I laid my tweezers on that piece because it was laying up and I didn't want it to be an issue. So I did the same thing for the elf card. This is the next day. There's that highlight on his nose. And then like I said, I'm going to add some on the Christmas tree. So again, this is the next morning. It's nice and dry. Let's just add a few of those. And then we can take a look at these up close and see how cute they are. I love these so much. They're so darling. They hang just fine. You have your sentiment on the back. Oh my gosh, he's my favorite. Look at all that shine. Isn't that fantastic? I love it. So cute. And then we have our darling little elf. Yep, these turned out fun. Okay, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed these cute little tags. Thank you so much. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.